Hello and welcome to Wiki's Fan vs. Critic series. I'm Matt Atchity, editor-in-chief, RottenTomatoes.com. I'll be representing the critics today, and representing the fans is Greater Good, my longtime adversary. Greater Good, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Matt. Great to be on again.
Today we are going to be talking about the final episode of Season 4 of Game of Thrones called The Children, which is a great title because obviously it's dealing with the Lannister children and the Children of the Forest. And speaking of the Children of the Forest, I want to bring up that scene right off the bat. We finally see Bran Stark and Jojen and Mira and Hodor all make it up to meet the three-eyed raven. They make it to that weirwood tree that Bran's been seeing visions of. But right as they're outside the tree, they get attacked by whites. They come rushing out of the snow. They start grabbing everybody. It becomes this great battle scene, and they're saved at the last minute by a child of the forest who is shooting magic bolts at these skeletons, at these whites, and decimating them. It's a great scene. It's super exciting. But Greater Good, I want to see your thoughts on this scene because I've heard some people say that they thought it was a little over the top.
The whites in particular, like they look like skeletons out of a Ray Harryhausen film. Too far removed, in my opinion, from the zombie-esque whites we've seen so far. And with Leaf, the Child of the Forest, shooting fireballs all over the place, and the skeletons falling apart as they run into the cave. It just felt really overdone, in my opinion.
I disagree. I think that we've spent 4 years of watching this show, hearing about how scary the North is, and winter is coming. The viewers have to see something really outrageous. Anything you see is going to have to live up to a level of terror that we've been led to expect. And I do think that it was really well done. It was very exciting. I like this scene a lot, so I guess Greater Good, we're going to have to agree to disagree here. All right, next up I want to talk about probably one of the bigger things that happen in here. We finally see that Tywin gets his just desserts from Tyrion. We also see Tywin dealing with his daughter Cersei earlier in the show, and Cersei kind of accuses him of knowing that she and Jaime have had a relationship and that their children are their children, not Robert Baratheon's children. I don't think that Tywin actually has any choice in this matter. I think from a political standpoint, he has to...
Well, I think in this particular instance, as Cersei said, Tywin was always really ignorant towards his children, so he according to her, he never really paid enough attention to notice that herself and Jaime were having an incestuous relationship. So, I think it was his own ignorance that was his downfall in this instance.
One of the things that I think those of us in the books who had read the books hadn't really expected was a showdown between Brienne and the Hound. That doesn't happen in the books. Greater Good, what did you think of that particular fight scene?
Oh, I thought it was excellent. I mean, they're undoubtedly two of the best warriors in the show, and the two of them just completely went for it, and it was just so dirty and gritty. I thought they hit the nail on the head with that one.
One of my favorite things about that scene is when the Hound grabs that sword and says, "I'm no knight." I think that lesser writers would have given in to the temptation to have Brienne say the same thing as well, and they avoided that. And I liked that. They didn't go for the easy joke there. I think they were true to those characters, and that was a good scene. And then after that scene, we see the Hound fall off that cliff and break his leg, and then he begs Arya for death, and Arya coldly just kind of leaves him behind. I thought that was a surprisingly touching moment. But Greater Good, where do you come down on that scene? How did you think that played out?
Very well. It really shows who Arya has become at this point. She doesn't want to kill the Hound because she thinks, a quick death is too good for him to leave him there and let him suffer and, die a really slow, painful death.
All right, well, that's it for this final episode of Wiki's Fan vs. Critic for Season 4 of Game of Thrones. I want to thank Greater Good for a great series of debates this season. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks. Hope we can do it again next year.
And make sure that you catch us next season. Undoubtedly, we'll be back covering Season 5 of Game of Thrones. On behalf of Wikia, I'm Matt Atchity. Thank you for joining us.